Hey up lads and lasses, Fletch here from Ultimate Halo, and you know what, I was hesitant at first to hear that the Halo TV show was going down a route of being non-canon for its plotline. I think as Halo fans we all want to see things progress the story in brand new directions, but at the same time it did make me think, is this show for us? Is it for you? Is it for me? And the new Silver Timeline, as it's now called, did seem to split fans down the middle initially because of reasons previously stated, but having reflected on when it was initially spoken about a long time ago now, I did start to think of how much this might actually benefit the Halo franchise, the community, and of course, Halo Infinite. So if you're not already, please do consider subscribing. This is my full-time job and only about 20% of you watching my videos are indeed subscribed. And also let me know in the comment section down below, what are your thoughts on the Halo TV show so far? We're getting a trailer on Sunday, but are you optimistic? Are you skeptical? Let me know.
Ultimate Halo.
Okay, so what exactly is the Silver Timeline for those Halo fans who don't know too much or haven't read too much about it just yet? Well, essentially, it's just a means for 343 to retread old stories in Halo's lore, but put a new spin on them, and I would try not to recall too much about that because I honestly think this could be a net positive. You see, whilst to many of us, the story and the lore are sacred, and I personally wouldn't want to see any of it overridden, I also appreciate the medium of television and video games are two completely different beasts in terms of, firstly, how they're produced, and also how they convey story at the exact same time. So let's put this to the test. Undoubtedly, some things will inevitably change in the Halo TV show compared to how the stories are told in the games, not only because one's a TV show and one's a game and characters have to be written differently because of it, as well as the stories, but an example could be how Alpha Halo was found when the Pillar of Autumn jumped through slipspace after escaping the planet Reach. At the time, it was portrayed as a mere coincidence, but the events will be shown quite differently this time around. The simple truth is you just cannot tell stories in the same way, so some creative liberties have to be taken to make it more captivating and suitable for that audience. So in this new timeline, there will also be new characters, and some may be portrayed slightly differently, and some just may not exist at all. I'm certain 343 are astutely aware of the fan reception of this, but when you have a creative vision for a show, you have to stick with it, and sometimes you just cannot compromise to really uphold the individual show's integrity. Now, with that in mind, I've titled this video, "The New Silver Timeline Could Change Halo Forever." So what exactly do I mean by this? Well, our good friend Haruspis, now in the community team at 343 Industries, interviewed Kiki Wolfkill and Frank O'Connor. During this, they were asked about any crossovers between the Silver Timeline and the core canon. Now, Frank expressed that there is definitely scope for this, but he seems very much aware of the changes that have been made for the TV show to make it fit that individual medium, and it also wouldn't want it to detract from its counterparts. So essentially, what he's trying to say is he's aware that, look, some things just cannot cross over and work, especially from a lore perspective, but it doesn't mean there aren't scope for other areas to bleed into each other, which I think that's a good thing, but as long as they're both kept distinctly Halo, that's the main thing, and I think Frank did a good job of articulating that in the interview. So what possibilities are there in terms of how this might change Halo in the long run? Well, first of all, if the show turns out to be a success, I am pretty optimistic that there could be more to come in the future, whether it's spin-off series or other follow-up series continuing on from where this one leaves off. Halo being on the silver screen could provide some huge exposure for the franchise. It could make it accessible to so many more groups, age groups and demographics. Then with Halo Infinite taking an approach that's more respectful of fans' legacy and the game's legacy, more fans might be able to get playing it, especially with the MCC being in a very good position these days. I do also feel like it would be a fantastic opportunity to spin somewhat of a season or an event around the TV show inside of Halo Infinite, because I think it's going to incentivize Halo Infinite gameplay fans to go and watch the TV show and vice versa. But what I'm about to say just now, I do want you all to take with a pinch of salt, because I think it's some major spitballing and theorizing, but I do believe that the Halo TV show could be the perfect opportunity to bring back not only the Flood, but other elements that have been missing in Halo for a long time. You see, I've said in previous videos that 343 have clearly been trying to market to a younger audience, as well as the older generations who've played it. Now, in respect to a younger audience, look, the Spartan Field Manual and the Halo Battleborn series of books, these were all geared towards young teens, meaning that any scope for the Flood might be a little bit tricky because of the age rating. Now, Halo Infinite in the US has a T for teen rating, whereas the previous titles, such as Halo Combat Evolved, which did have the Flood, had M for mature. So maybe this wider expansion of the audience might be a very good thing to shift up the future DLC titles and experiment with things such as the Flood, because in all reality I do feel like the TV show will be more geared towards maturer audiences, especially looking at the visual aesthetic it is going for. And in all reality, the Flood are probably one of the biggest things that I've been missing for a long time, and I personally really hope that they appear in the Halo TV show. Further to this, I also do think it gives more scope for spin-off games for the franchise. Now, I know we all want to keep this separate in terms of the main game lore and the TV show lore, especially because it's making such big changes, but it would be cool to see some more gritty stories derived from or be inspired by the show, but still grounded within the main plotline. I've personally always wanted to see a gritty third-person Halo shooter because I think the stories you could tell would be stellar. Just imagine something with insurrectionists on an outer colony, hearing rumblings about a Spartan project causing unease amongst you and your fellow Marines or something along that line. I don't know, to be honest, that's kind of me just spitballing, and I don't know, I think the possibilities are immense, but all in all, if this show delivers a great Halo story and production, I feel like it could open more doors for the franchise in terms of transmedia that could come, spin-off games, TV shows, and also just have a positive influence on what's shown and reflected in the games, because we all know we're desperate to explore the Flood again, as well as many other storylines we've not seen. So I think the implications and the ramifications for this show could be immense if it's handled correctly. But once again, let me know how you're feeling about the Halo TV show. I'm cautiously optimistic and extremely excited at the same time. I think it's going to be great for the franchise all in all, but let me know what you think. Once again, my name is Jack Fletcher, and I will see you next time on the one and the only Ultimate Halo.
Subscribe now to Ultimate Halo for more unfriggin' believable Halo content.